Hello, everybody! How are you guys? Hey! Welcome to Measuring the Circle. Welcome to our very first episode. We are calling this Meet the Weirdos. We're going to... It's a perfect name. We're going to spend the next hour interviewing each other and really giving you guys a sense of what this show is, what it's going to be about, and who we are. So my name is Madeline Kate. I am a paranormal researcher. I'm a graphic designer by day, and I love to stay up late researching and going and checking out spooky, weird places. My co-host right over here, this is Jim. Say hi to everybody, Jim.
Hi, my name's Jim Pyre. What do? I am a reluctant attorney. I do a lot of research. I do a lot of creeping around places I probably shouldn't.
Jim, there you are.
And writing books about things I probably shouldn't.
That sounds good. What kind of books are you working on now?
Right now, I am working on my opus, my giant book that I have spent, oh my God, almost 40 years writing. And it basically is about the Fae. I believe in the Fae. Not the Tinkerbell kind of Fae that people think of, not the token things. I just call them that because it's easier for me to say I don't know what they are. So I call them Fae. Why we call it Measuring the Circle is another reason I guess I should bring up. Measuring the Circle is a phrase from a fella named Charles Fort. And he was a fella who last century, not this one, last century, they called him a crackpot. And what he did was he had problems with science. And I don't want to mean science as in the institution. He had a problem with the politics of science.
Absolutely.
Where people refuse to investigate certain things, where people refuse to acknowledge that things happen and they just washed it over. He would write, he's got a, and in it is basically just a card catalog of like fish raining from the sky or statues bleeding, just weird things, high strangeness things. And so I decided, hey, why not? Well, let's name this thing Measuring the Circle.
Yeah, and the quote, what Measuring the Circle means, and by the way...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, by the way, Jim, your video froze. I can hear you. I see you. You're back. You're back. Jim? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. This wouldn't be a first show if we weren't having technical difficulties. Let me see what I can do here. Let's try calling him again. Oh, Jim! Isn't his little Yeti icon like the absolute best? That's so cute. Well, while we're trying to get a hold of Jim, I can go ahead and explain to you guys what Measuring the Circle means. The quote that Fort gave was, to measure a circle, one can begin anywhere. And that's absolutely the truth. What that means as far as the paranormal goes is no matter what area of fringe subjects you start in, whether it be you're interested in ghosts, whether you're interested in conspiracy theories, or, you know, maybe it's the reptilian underground bases of aliens that rule the world, whatever it is that interests you, you'll see that the more you research about that fringe subject, every single thing has some weird connection. And I think that all really, really stems from everything that is happening to us is part of the human consciousness. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Oh no, Jim! So everything pretty much stems from our consciousness. Where are you? I'm texting him now. We might just have to switch over to Google Hangouts because I don't know, I don't know what happened with Skype. It's showing that we are still live. Everything looks good on the live chat here, so Oh, I see we got a comment. Hi, Sleepy Dave. Hey there. It's so great to have you guys here. We are so excited, honestly, about this live video. Obviously, it would be great if Jim was here too. I don't know what's going on with that. If Skype continues to not work, I will go ahead and switch over to Google Hangouts and see if I can get a hold of him there. We are so excited about this show because this first episode is really going to be just about us interviewing each other, and we want to give you guys a really good idea of who we are. We've done a lot of research into these fringe studies, especially Jim. He has done a lot of the reading and writing of these topics. I personally have been a paranormal investigator for going on 8 years, so I have over 60 investigations under my belt. I've been to some very extreme places and done some really, really cool things. So I'm excited to get to talk about those experiences that I've had, as well as we have the capability, thanks to Skype, which is kind of taking a massive poop on us right now, but we have the ability to call anybody in the world and get their story and interview them. So we have a lot of really, really cool shows planned coming up. We're going to be doing a show on the Mothman. We're going to be doing some shows on the Fae, which is Jim's specialty. So we have a lot of really cool things, and there isn't a subject that we won't touch. So we're really, really looking forward to where this can go. And as it continues to grow, something else that I'm excited to talk about is we are going to be able to do live streams on our mobile devices. So what does that mean? That means that our show could eventually become on the road, and we can do a live show while we're doing investigations so that we can bring you guys, the viewers sitting at home, right into the haunted house or the creepy bridge or the haunted woods, whatever it is that we're interested in. We are going to be able to actually bring you guys there. So Jim is saying that he's here. Let me pull up. It'll be good if I try to call him on Google Hangouts, possibly, because this is a bummer that he's not here right now. Let's call him. Oh my gosh, that's really obnoxious. Boop.
Hey!
Hey, Jim. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me connect you to the broadcast here. Okay, guys, I was able to get Jim here on Google Hangouts. Give me just one moment so that I can bring him into our software so that you can see him in the live world. Google Hangouts. Let's try this one. There you are, Jim. All right, give me 1 second so I can put you so you're a little bit more centered in that. And can you turn your phone?
I love Skype.
I love
Skype.
Turn your phone, Jim.
Turn my phone.
Yeah, that looks great. That looks much better. We can see you now. Yay!
Yay!
Oh my goodness, you guys. It would not be a live video if we didn't have some technical difficulties, right? Oops.
So what happened with Skype?
I have no idea what happened to Skype. I tried calling you a couple times and it was just saying that you were unable to reach and it was showing you were offline. So, but you look great. Google Hangouts is doing, I think you're on your phone. So
Yeah.
probably why it looks better. So that's great. So I was just explaining to everybody how excited we are to be able to do this live show where we can incorporate interviews with people from around the world, and eventually, you know, like you're showing, you're able to do a live video on your phone. So wherever you wanted to go, we would be able to bring our show there.
And with me, one of the reasons why I want to do it is because I want more citizen scientists. I think we need to go back to a time when people did stuff themselves, when they researched things themselves, when they had the experiments themselves, because modern science is not going to do it. Nobody cares about the things we care about. Nobody's going to bother with it. But if we can get together, if we can pool our data and our resources, starting with maybe this little program, I think we can do something wonderful. So that's my hope.
That's a great dream to have. Let's keep it going. Let's keep talking about it. Let's make it happen, because I agree. There's right now in the paranormal community, there's tons of these little isolated groups of people. There's the ghost hunting people. There's the people that believe in Bigfoot. And there's, of course, the alien UFO people. And right now, the way that people act is they're kind of like, ooh, the Bigfoot people are crazy. Or, oh my gosh, you believe in ghosts? And really, there's a lot more connections and there's a lot more things that these occurrences have in common than there are differences. And yeah, let's talk about everything. Let's measure that entire circle and get everybody on the same page and see exactly what is happening here.
Absolutely. Have we fired up the recording yet?
We have not. I wanted to make sure that I was able to get you back on. I didn't want to just say, bye, Jim. Like, this is my show now. That's what I thought it was maybe happening there for a second. I'm like, maybe he's dead. Maybe the Men in Black got him. I don't know.
No, it's perfect. All right, I think it's time. Let it go. Let it fly.
Let's go. So what we're about to show you guys is a couple weeks ago, me and Jim interviewed each other so that you could get a little bit more backstory as to how we became interested in the paranormal. So we put together our little video, and we're going to go ahead and play it now for you guys. We are still going to be live. You'll see our videos on the side, and I will be monitoring, as well as Jim will be monitoring the chat box on the YouTube page. So if you guys have any questions, if you want to talk about anything, we'll be there. So let's go ahead and get that video going. Ooh.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Hold on. When I have the 3 screens open, I still have your Skype page. Let me pull you in there so people can see your face and not your Yeti icon. Okay. Google Hangouts. There you are. And I just got to make you a little smaller, and we're perfect. Okay. Got it all set. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the video, so you guys enjoy. Oh! There we go.
I'm Jim Pyre, and this is my good friend.
Hi, I'm Madeline Kate, and we are so excited to do our first recording for Measuring the Circle.
What we figured we'd do this time is just interview ourselves, because we want to give you guys an idea of our background, that we're not just, well, Joe off the streets, that we have a little bit under our belt. So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to interview you first. Would that be okay?
Nice.
Absolutely, let's go for it.
Where did you first get an interest in the paranormal?
Oh man, well, I think that my interest in the paranormal really stems from the fact that I grew up in a haunted house. So, me and my family, we moved into a house just outside of St. Louis when I was 8 years old. I lived there for 10 years, from 8 until 18. And pretty much as soon as we moved in, strange things started happening. We would hear footsteps often. We would hear people talking. It was always just kind of a creepy vibe. I can remember one time in particular, me and my mom, we were home by ourselves. My dad was at work. and we could hear somebody walking around upstairs, and it sounded so clear. My mom was contemplating whether or not we should try to call the police or, like, escape, because we were scared somebody had broken in. And finally it stopped. Like, it just abruptly stopped. And so my mom gathered up the courage to go upstairs and look around, and there was no windows open, there was no doors unlocked, there was no forced entry, there was nobody there. So after that point, we both kind of realized there was something definitely going on here, and it's like, you know, it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. It made us, at least at the time, feel uncomfortable that we were sharing our space with somebody. So I think...
or something.
Or something. I mean, I guess I still don't really know exactly what, you know, was there. One of the scariest things that happened to me that really flipped my perception of these things was I was 13 years old, and I would often spend the majority of my nights downstairs in our downstairs den where we had the computer, because I was always online talking to people, and at that time I was always making MySpace layouts, and I was just doing all kinds of stuff. So I was talking to one of my friends from Florida on a similar thing to this, like a Skype, you know, webcam conversation. And he kept telling me, you know, "Ooh, I see somebody behind you." And I thought that he was just trying to, you know, play tricks on me and get me scared. And so I told him, like, "No, there's nothing there. Like, stop messing with me about that." And he's like, "You seem pretty serious." "No, I keep seeing something walk, you know, behind you." And so I eventually, like, I was looking at my own screen, and I saw something cross behind me. And I was like, "Oh my God, I saw it too." And then I saw this black shadow figure. It seemed like a man. It seemed like a very tall, you know, deep black figure rushed up behind me. It completely... It did not have a hat. No, it didn't have any features or clothes or anything that I could really distinguish. It was just a shadowy silhouette. Rushed up behind me. As soon as it got to me, the computer completely shut down. Like, it did not power down. It just, like, shut off as if somebody pulled the plug. And I was scared. I still get goosebumps. Every time I tell that story, I get goosebumps because it scared me so bad.
As if it knew it was being watched and wanted to cut the feed. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. Wow. When did you start researching? When did you start putting boots on the ground?
Oh, it was definitely right after that. Like, after that, I realized that not only are these things, like, able to make noises and stuff, they can really interact with their environment. I mean, it was intelligent enough to understand how this webcam and computer system is working. I mean, that's insane. So after that time, I went to the library and began checking out, like, every book I could on anything paranormal and strange. So after that, I really started reading a lot, and around that same time, all of the paranormal television shows began popping up. I started out watching Ghost Hunters, and then moved to Ghost Adventures, and eventually I moved out when I was...
looking at Zach, weren't you? You were looking at Zach Bagans.
Did we have to talk about Zach Bagans?
I mean, come on, how can I help myself? I was a teenager. I mean... No, oh my gosh. But I remember one day after I moved out when I was 18, I was sitting watching one of those shows. I don't remember even which one. And I was like, why am I watching this? Why don't I just get out and go do it? So I looked up a local paranormal group, and I became part of a group that we actually were very active. And I've been to over 60 different haunted locations. I've investigated stuff.
Where's the craziest place you've ever been?
Oh my gosh, I think there's a lot of different crazy things that I've done. One of the craziest things I've done is I actually climbed an 8,000-foot mountain in Las Vegas. It was called Tikaboo Peak. And it's one of the only places that you can actually go to see Area 51. So I actually climbed a mountain to go see the base. And I didn't get shot. I'm still here.
Yeah, they're still watching you, believe me. This is being monitored one way or another.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Did you see anything?
I really couldn't see much. I mean, we were able to see some landing strips and buildings, but it was very strange that we didn't see one thing in the sky. We didn't see any airplanes. We saw nothing. The whole way up the mountain, though, They definitely knew I was there because the whole way up the mountain, they had cameras along the whole ridge, along the whole path up the mountain, everything. So they were definitely aware that we were there. But yeah, that was a very, very. It took us all together about 8 hours to get to the top and back down. I mean, it was a very long adventure and very dangerous. We were climbing without any climbing gear. I mean, it was pretty insane. But I've done a lot of really adventurous stuff like that. You know, I'm all about that.
You are a boot down person then, aren't you?
I am.
You're out there, you want to do the exploration. You want to do the research.
I am. I really like doing research as well online and doing research the old-fashioned way by going to the library and looking through old books and things. But I really am an adventurous, outgoing person, and my favorite part of all of this is getting to go travel around, talk to locals, and share the stories that these people have grown up with. I really, really like that aspect of it.
That's cool. Where do you see this? Where do you see this endeavor going in the future? Where do you see it going?
Oh gosh, sometimes it's hard to really predict, you know? Everything has been changing pretty rapidly. We went from this field being shunned, and now there's so many people. They have conferences everywhere now where people get together and, you know, get to share. So I think this is really a rise, you know, a revival of the paranormal. So I see it going in the future. I see it becoming more of a study of oneself and consciousness and how the universe actually works, because everything paranormal that happens to us is actually just happening in our mind, and it has a lot more to do, I think, with understanding how time works and how our consciousness actually creates everything around us.
Okay, stop there. We'll cut there. We'll cut there.
Is that Nina wanting to be part of the interview?
Yeah, that's Nina barking.
Oh, Nina, hi! Okay.
All right, now it's my turn. All right, so,
So, resume! We need one of those old-fashioned movie, you know, cutscene things. We totally need that.
They still use those.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, to line up the images, they still use them.
I did not know that.
Okay, is there anything else you wanna? Oh, all right, we're back. Is there any place you want, in particular, people to meet you and to see you? Where are you on the web?
Well, I am currently working on my own website, so that will be coming soon. Stay tuned for that. But you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can just search Madeline Kate, but I will definitely have links put on our YouTube page as well as all of the Measuring the Circle social media pages so that you can find myself and Jim.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. Thank you. I guess I'll take it. I'll leave it to you now. Now you're in charge. Go for it.
Awesome. Now we get to learn more about this weirdo, Jim Pyre.
Absolutely.
So let's start off with you know, the most basic question is, how did you get into all of these things? How did you get into the fringe studies?
I too grew up in a bit of a haunted house. My grandparents' house was haunted. We would hear stairs around about 3:15 every night, like clockwork. And as a kid, I went out there and measured with a watch just to see, because I knew, like, my grandparents were very, oh no, it's just your imagination. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't imagine anything else like this at any other time. Why is this only happening at 3:15 in the morning? And I went out there, and sure enough, stopwatch, I caught, you know, footsteps, and they were heavy. They were like a man's footsteps. Later on, they told me, yeah, that house was haunted. But at the time, they didn't want to scare me.
They didn't want to admit to knowing.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, so they said nothing. After that, I did reading, because I knew there was some mystery to the universe. I knew it wasn't just what we were being told in school and on TV. I knew there was something more than materialism. Like, there was something else. And it in my mind, seems very elusive. Like, you can try to get your hands on it, and then it slips away.
So that's what I've been doing for years, trying to get my hands on it.
So after that, initial encounter with the paranormal, hearing those footsteps, what's the craziest thing that you've ever experienced since then?
Oh, I've had some craziness. I think the craziest thing was I was in a Bigfoot hunting group in Ohio, and we got a tip that the monster, creature, friendly guy in an ape suit was in an area, and we all trucked over there. And I was there at about 2 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of guys with guns, and we heard something.
Oh,
I have it on my computer. We heard something. And it was me and 5 guys with shotguns. And I remember saying, anybody want to go take a look? And everybody else saying, nope.
It's like, that's what you guys went out there to do, isn't it?
I know that. And the next day we all packed up and went home. So that was about the most interesting, craziest thing. I remember going to, I can't remember, it's a school, supposedly it's haunted by some principal. I can't remember, what is that? I can't remember that.
Is it
place.
Farrar?
I've been there. Farrar. I went to Farrar with one of my team members. And another interesting thing is I was about to open a locker, and it started shaking and banging and stuff. And my buddy at the time said, Jim, you don't have to open it that hard. And I looked back at him and I said, that wasn't me.
Oh, and it'll be fine.
Open! Okay, good boy. Lay down.
Aww.
Lay down.
He just wants some attention. Just give him some attention. He'll be okay.
He wants to be on the show. All right, so that was the craziest thing. Other than that, not much. I've done more book research. I've read everything from now the names escape me, but I've read the Book of the Law from
Crowley.
Crowley, and I've done a lot of other things, a lot of UFO stuff, a lot of the big names I've read. So, I guess I'm learned, in that sort of weird way. So I'm more of a book hound than anything else.
That's great. No, the research is absolutely important, and we need to know all the work that our predecessors have done to really figure out what we need to do in the future. So that's great.
The thing that's taught me magic and just people disappearing, like that 411 stuff.
Oh yeah.
We live in a very plasticine universe that we think is very solid, and it is not. That's what my take is. We think we live on this island of stability, and underneath and above us and on all sides, it's not. So that's always been my take.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you on that one. So what cool stuff are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm writing a book. I'm finishing up my fiction book. I've done a bunch of small bits of fiction here and there. I can write them down. They're not, I don't know. I think they were fun. I'm doing a nonfiction book about scary roads in Illinois. And I'm working with you on measuring the circle. I think it's only fair we tell people what measuring the circle means.
Absolutely.
It's a quote. Yes, it's taken a quote from a fellow I really enjoy. I think he's pretty amazing. And I think you do too. Charles Fort. It's a Fortean quote because he said, if you look hard enough at anything, you can measure the circle. Being anything, you measure the circle from any point. And that means if you want to go into this field with like UFOlogy, or the paranormal, like cryptids, or magic, sooner or later, you're going to get to that measurement. You're going to understand how it works. So that's why you and I both picked measuring the circle.
Yeah, there's really an underlying oneness of all things strange, as our tagline kind of goes. No matter where you start, you find out that there's somehow little pieces that connect every single thing. So that's
matrices, yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Jinx.
I guess we said it at the same time, so that means we are officially over. So thank you, everybody. We're going to have guests next time. We're going to do a whole bunch of interesting things. We hope to do some things about proving some things, setting up examples. I don't want this, and I know M doesn't want it to be just a normal talk show. We're going to go out and explain what we've done. We're going to see if we can have some results, whether they're legitimate, and we find something interesting, or they're bogus. We're going to let you know.
Yeah, that's really one of the greatest things about doing a live video show like this is we're going to be able to interact a lot with our viewers. And we also, in the future, plan to take our show on the road and actually do some different experiments and things, right here on our live stream. So really, there's no end to our possibilities as to how weird things can get. So definitely looking forward to many more talks with you, Jim. And thank you so much. I had a great talk.
I had a great talk with you too. And hello, goodbye, everybody in internet land.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Cool.
Right. Cut.
I will stop this recording now. It was 18 minutes. You think that's...
All right. I went and we are back now. It's just me and you, Jim.
Hey!
Hey, I think that was awesome. We're still, this is our first show. So it was definitely a challenge getting used to using new software.
There were some small technical difficulties. Very small.
Oh yeah, the totally minuscule, no worries about any. Oh my gosh, you guys. Definitely some technical difficulties, but as this show continues to grow and evolve, we're just going to keep making things better and better, and it's just going to get so awesome. So I'm really, really excited about this platform that we're on, and the fact that we're able to be live and also show pre-recorded things. I'm able, because of the software that I'm using, I'm able to pull up any website, any video, any audio clip. So from this point forward, we're going to be able to really, really go into some deep, deep details, as well as I have been monitoring our live chat box. I've been talking to a fellow, his name is Sleepy Dave Davenport, and he was telling me some of his paranormal experiences, which I think is really, really cool. So if you guys are watching this right now, please feel free to, send us some messages in the chat box. If you're watching this later on after our live stream is over, if you're watching this recorded, definitely shoot us messages. We are going to have a credits scene at the end with all of our contact information. We would absolutely love for you to call into Skype and possibly even have you on our show.
Absolutely. And more than anything, we want to know how we can use this stuff for research. I mean, having a paranormal event is amazing, but having it recurring so we can get some data from it, that would be like the holy grail. So please send us your stuff, please.
Give us everything.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
We need social security numbers with every message. Totally kidding. But we really want to make this fun. All of this stuff interests me so much. There are many nights that I lose sleep because I cannot stop thinking about these topics. So let's have fun with it. We want to involve you guys. We want to answer your questions. And we want to talk about things that are actually relevant and new theories. There's so many podcasts out there that tend to just kind of regurgitate the same stories over and over.
Yes, over and over and over again. It's just like, I know. Stop.
It's like, okay, we know what happened or what you think happened at Area 51, but let's get into some more crazy conspiracies. Let's get into some different theories. What is going on here? So, hey, I see somebody else is in our chat room now. Hi, John. It's great to see you guys chatting. We need social security numbers. Yeah. So, what I want to do while we wrap up here a little bit is I want to make sure that I mention our next show. Our show schedule is going to be once a month until we can kind of get all of these, you know, little difficulties smoothed out and we get everything going nice and smoothly. We're going to be doing this show once a month. It'll be the last Thursday of every month at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, the same time that you're guys watching now.
And that'll give you plenty of time to give us your stories.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. You have a whole month, so we'd love to hear from you. Our next show is going to be so exciting. We should have mentioned this from the beginning, but we are actually we are in the suburbs of Chicago. So if you are interested in these things, you might have heard there has been a recent flux of, I believe now 56 sightings of the Chicago Mothman. So naturally,
so we're going to dig into it and find out, is it real, is it not, is it hype, is it some sort of foreboding? We want to know.
Yeah.
If you've seen him, if you've heard about anybody who's seen him, let us know, because we're curious.
Yeah. And
between Em and I, we've gone hunting for this thing, and we haven't found anything.
Yeah. I believe it was June 23rd of this year. I was actually at Navy Pier doing an investigation. I had night vision cameras and was recording and walking around looking in the skies for this thing. And apparently there was a sighting less than 2 miles away at the Adler Planetarium. So it's just so strange that I was there in the same area and didn't see this, which is definitely possible. I could have been looking the other way. But we are going to be interviewing Lon Strickler, as well as some of the researchers who have been on the grounds, like me and Jim, looking into this thing, looking into the sightings and the reports. So we want to give you guys not just a regurgitation of the same stories that you could go and read on your own. We want to actually, you know, let's add some depth. Let's really dig into this subject and see what's happening there. So I'm really looking forward to our first show, which will be the last Thursday in November. I can get you a date here in 1 second because I don't remember off of the top of my head. It is the 30th. It's actually the last day of November. So make sure, yeah, it's not on Thanksgiving. We're happy for that because we're going to be, you know, definitely busy.
And hopefully we can get Skype fixed.
Yeah, although, I mean, this actually isn't too bad. I mean, it's...
No, I know. Google Hangout seems to be better. I see you clearer.
Yeah, I think you're...
I think we'll just do that.
Yeah. It's probably obnoxious you're holding your phone. But yeah. We'll definitely, you know, like I said, this is our first show. I am extremely proud and excited for what this show is now and what it is to become. I know that we're just going to take off from here. So definitely hit that subscribe button. We are going to put up a screen that has all of our contact information. You can find Measuring the Circle. We have a website. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as myself and Jim. We both have our own social media pages, and Jim has a website too. So make sure you follow us and make sure you subscribe so that, you know, I know a couple weeks from now you're going to totally forget that November 30th is our next show. So we'll be reminding you guys. So make sure you follow us so that you get that reminder.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I think now we sign off. Throw up the end card.
Yeah, let me go ahead and throw off the credits screen. I know that you guys can still hear me, so I'll go through this. Measuring the Circle, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, like I just said. Due to the length of characters, Twitter and Instagram, you can find us just at Measuring Circle. And then our website, because we are very cheap, is measuringthecircle.wordpress.com. My name is Madeline Kate. Once again, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Search Madeline Kate, or on Skype as well. Jim Pyre is one step ahead of the game at jimpyre.com. You can find all of his social media feed there as well. He's on Facebook and Skype too. And we want to give a shout out for sure to our amazing friend Adam Kirby, who made that awesome, creepy X-Files music that fits.
I know, man.
Oh, it's
awesome.
Music
is awesome.
It's so awesome. So I'll go back to our screen really quick so they can see our faces react when I say it was so awesome. So thank you so much, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this show as much as I enjoyed being on it.
Me too. Take care, y'all. We'll see you in a month.
Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.